Okay, I'm here to talk about Wonka. This is the newest film based on the character of Willy Wonka, and after I saw it, how do I think about it? Well, first off, let's start with the story. Now, if you think you're going in for the same story over and over again, that's not the case here, because this film tells a prequel story of how Willy Wonka built the chocolate factory at the first place, and how he even sells the chocolate in the first place. So, this is a brand new story that you're getting here. So that is a breath of fresh air. The story is very, very new. Now, how about Willy Wonka himself? First off, Willy Wonka here is played by Timothée Chalamet. And I think his portrayal is really reminiscent to the older version of Willy Wonka, and that is the Gene Wilder version of the Willy Wonka. If you look at him, his attire, his attitude is very reminiscent of the iteration of that character that was played by Gene Wilder. And I think that is a really smart approach. However, Timothée Chalamet puts his own spin on that character, because this is a younger version of Willy Wonka. He is more optimistic, he is more enthusiastic of making this chocolate, his dream come true, and you can really feel his ambition to success in a chocolate factory business, and you are here on his side throughout the whole film, and that is an important aspect, an important feeling that you really get in a Willy Wonka film. So, I think Timothée Chalamet is a success on playing Willy Wonka in this film. Now, during his struggle making chocolate, he is accompanied by Noodle. And I think the chemistry between Willy Wonka and Noodle is really solid here. Because this is a character we haven't met before. So this is a new character, a fresh character. And I think she complements the film even more. Because by adding her character, it really adds the emotional tone of this film. And I think the emotional tone here connects with Willy Wonka's emotional tone with his character. So the bond between Willy Wonka and Noodle is also an emotional bond, and you as an audience, you can feel their ambitions towards their goals, And these two characters really carry the film. Now, in regards of the supporting cast, most of them did an amazing job, But there is one character that is really miscast here, and that is Oompa Loompa, now played by Hugh Grant. I think his performance is very forced into the narrative of this film, and I think the character of Oompa Loompa himself didn't really even need to be in the film in the first place, because this is an origin story about Wonka, not about the chocolate factory. Yes, this is a story just about the ambition of Wonka in making good quality chocolate and selling it to the public. That is it. That is the goal of the film. And by adding Oompa Loompa, this character is really unnecessary in regards to the plot, the story of the film. And I think Hugh Grant's performance as Oompa Loompa is really forced. And you can see in his acting that he didn't really want to be there. Now, as I mentioned before, this film is a backstory about Wonka. So, I think this film stands on its own, because if you really do not know Wonka, start here. And by then you move on to, the Gene Wilder version. And by the way, I see the Timothée Chalamet's version becoming the character, the reclusive version of Willy Wonka that we later see in the original The Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie by Gene Wilder, I think these two characters connects very well. Now, as of the Johnny Depp version, that is his own thing, and that is a different approach on the story after all. So I'm gonna rank 3 versions of the characters. I think number 1 is still Gene Wilder because he is the most iconic version of the character so far, and number 2 is still Johnny Depp because he puts his own spin. The tone of that film was completely dark, and it suits the film because that is just about the personal story of Willy Wonka. And number 3 is Timothée Chalamet because he is a young, optimistic version of this character, and you see this version intertwined with Gene Wilder's version. Now, that is my ranking of 3 of the Willy Wonka. There is one aspect that the trailers for this movie kept hidden, and that is the musical aspect, because this is in fact a musical film, and I think it is hit or miss. Sometimes the musical works, but also there are times that you think that they should have kept the original score for the film, because like the song Pure Imagination, the original version was very, very iconic, and that is a really good song. But the remix version of that song in here didn't really stick the landing. Now, as I mentioned before, it is a little bit hit or miss. But how about the comedy? Because this is a comedy film. I think in that regard, this film succeeds because this film is charming. This film is really a feel-good movie because by watching it, you feel good about yourself. And this film is also inspiring, surprisingly inspiring, because by seeing the film as a young audience, you feel the ambition about Willy Wonka, and you can apply the ambition to your own life, to achieve something that matters to you, to really work, and when the results come, you will be happy about it. So, in a way, this film really succeeds in making Willy Wonka's journey inspiring, and that is a really nice touch about this film. So, in the end, this is a feel-good film. It is an inspiring story of Willy Wonka, and it is funny. So, I will give Wonka an 8 out of 10. This is a solid film. It makes you feel good about yourself. The comedy works, and yeah, that's it. I feel good while watching this film. So, if you have seen Wonka, tell me what you think. What did work? What didn't work? Was Oompa Loompa really necessary in this film? Tell me everything down in the comment section, and see you on the next video.